tables completely turned back on him when Representative Fitzgerald plays this video. The Democrats went silent after this. Let's dive in.
But abandoning victims and coddling perpetrators is what you do best. When the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the brutal killing in Minneapolis of Renee Good, a poet and 37-year-old mother of three, by Trump's masked paramilitary ICE agents, you shut it down. You claim you're investigating the cold-blooded murder of Alex Preddy, an ICU nurse at the VA. But how can we trust the administration when the president and Kristi Noem call Preddy a domestic terrorist and Stephen Miller called him a would-be assassin? Not only do you refuse to share evidence with the state and local investigators and prosecutors in Minnesota, you have blocked their access to the crime scene and the evidence. How are you seeking justice for Marimar Martinez, the Montessori school teacher in Chicago who was shot 5 times by a Border Patrol agent who bragged about it on text? Or the family of Keith Porter, a father of 2 shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent in LA? Or the family of Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, shot and killed in Illinois minutes after he dropped his kids off at school? There's no sign of any movement at the Department of Justice. You even launched a criminal investigation into Renee Good's grieving widow. How sick is that?
I find it a bit ironic because this is the same party who just a few years ago were openly supporting strong immigration enforcement after witnessing criminal illegal aliens wreak havoc on the American communities. I have a short video I just wanted to play.
Of immigrants. We're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable.
They've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked, they're gone.
No great nation can be in a position where they can't control their borders.
While we need to address the issue of immigration and the challenge we have of undocumented people in our country, we certainly don't want any more coming in.
Every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple. When we use phrases like undocumented workers, we convey a message to the American people that their government is not serious about combating illegal immigration, which the American people overwhelmingly oppose. If you don't think it's illegal, you're not going to say it. I think it is illegal and wrong.
Open the borders, my God. You know, there's a lot of poverty in this world, and you're going to have people from all over the world, and I don't think that's something that we can do at this point. Can't do it.
Yes or no? Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
What's the Trump administration, DOJ, doing to end the open border policies of the prior administration that saw dangerous drugs and criminal aliens flood our communities?
Congressman, President Trump has worked tirelessly, as you know, to close our border, which is what the Democrats had asked for in that video. President Trump closed our borders on day one. He is protecting Americans. He is protecting our kids from the influx of drugs that were flowing into this country from Mexico. The fentanyl precursors that were coming from China. These precursors were taken from China into Mexico. And in Mexico, they were mixed and freely taken right into our country, along with gang members, MS-13, TDA, freely coming into our cities around our country, thanks to Joe Biden's open border policies. That has stopped under Donald Trump. It will no longer happen under this administration, and he is doing everything to keep Americans safe. And let me continue. When he was elected overwhelmingly by the American people, the majority of the American people
Here's how I grew my audience with zero marketing skills. I use Constant Contact's AI tools to whip up professional emails in seconds. Automation takes care of my welcome messages, follow-ups, and even promotions while I get on with running my business wherever.
Wanted Donald Trump, one of the main reasons was border security and keeping Americans safe. And that's exactly what he did. And that's why today the other side sits here, they yell, they cut me off, they want to yell, they want to ask a question and don't want answers because they want to distract from all the great things that this president and this administration working hand in hand, and that includes Secretary Noem, who has closed our borders, and Tom Homan, who has closed our borders to keep Americans safe. And they're trying to distract from that, and they're not going to do it because the American people are smarter than that, and they see through their theatrics.
It is just astonishing to me how far the Democrats have come and how far they've moved to the left. See, the question that I keep on wanting to answer here, and the question I keep asking, is how did it get to this point? Democrats in the 90s and the 2000s were very, very anti-illegal immigration. They thought it was a bad thing because they wanted to protect workers. Okay? That was the reason they did it. They've always been the party of the little guys, so to speak. That's how they got their start. That's how they changed their platform. That's why the Great Party switch is a complete myth. How did we get here? Well, I think I've already answered it. The blue-collar part of the Democrat coalition is gone. Devastated. They've been moving to the right because of MAGA at a breakneck pace, and now the entire power of the Democrat Party is around rich white liberals in their little enclaves in major cities. That's it. That is the key demographic that Democrats keep catering to, and thus they require a steady stream of more leftism, more of this weird rhetoric that doesn't make any sense. Jamie Raskin is out here talking about 5 people who have lost their lives because of altercations with ICE. That's a good thing to talk about, actually. It does have a kernel of truth in it. But instead of asking, wait a minute, why are they here? A better question is, why is there only outrage for Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and not for the other 3 individuals? I can't even tell you who they are. Well, remember when the Democrat Party said that you have to really dislike white people and you've got to check your privilege? Well, I'm kind of seeing it in full force right now, and it's on the left. They only care about 2 of those individuals. Funny thing when you notice that, because once you see it, you'll never unsee it. So what Jamie Raskin is trying to do is he's trying to push the window as far to the left as he can and wring his hands and clutch his pearls and say, oh, woe is us, instead of dealing with the problem that the Democrat Party has allegedly been talking about for decades. Then they abandon it, and the moment they do, this guy named Donald Trump comes in and he starts shutting down illegal immigration. The border right now is more secure than it's been since, World War II? That's an amazing accomplishment, and they hate that. There's even a lot of Republicans that hate that, and I'll explain that in a second. And you know what, I'll just explain it now. The reason they hate that is because the Democrat Party is based entirely on envy. Okay? That is their modus operandi. They are envious of people with more money than them, so they promise you, hey, we're going to tax those people. What do? They get in power and they raise taxes on everybody. Just look no further than the state of Virginia right now. People are already regretting their votes. And so they're envious not only of other people's money as a term of policy, but the moment someone more competent than them gets into office and starts fixing things, their brains just short circuit. They can't stand the idea that someone is more competent than they are. This is something that's gone back not just decades, but for hundreds, probably even thousands of years. If you ever study ancient Rome or Byzantine politics, anytime a general gets very successful on the battlefield, all of the bureaucrats start getting a little bit antsy, like this guy's going to come in and have that same sort of metric of success, take that from the battlefield and put that into the actual act of bureaucracy. That terrifies them because that means there's accountability. They are envious of people who are better than them, and thus, instead of improving themselves, they would conspire against whatever general at the time. This happened over and over again in history, and it's the same thing that's happening right now. So not only the Democrats moving farther to the left, not only is this based on envy, but you get the final little piece of this puzzle here, and that's basically when this Republican plays this video. The last piece of the puzzle is the attempt to push the window as far to the left as they can while appearing moderate. They have to keep the coalition together. Remember me talking about losing blue-collar voters? If they lose any more of the sort of the pizza pie that is the Democrat coalition, they lose any more of it, they are in deep electoral trouble. Their only hope is that they can actually convert a bunch of these squishy Republicans who have the same problem with envy. This is happening in real time, by the way, so their whole strategy is to whine, to moan, to get the mainstream media to talk as much as they possibly can about isolated incidents and say, this is happening everywhere. When instead, we've been having huge issues with not just illegal immigration as a whole, but with fentanyl, with the cartels gaining more and more power. We still don't know what's going on in El Paso. We have got all these weird problems going on, and the Democrat Party is out here screeching about just a few weird instances. That means that they're scared. They're scared, they're envious, they're trying to convert squishy Republicans, and it's not really working anymore. I think they've dried up their support. And so, Jamie Raskin will continue to push the Overton window, and one day they'll push it too far. And their party has a very real chance of disintegrating after that. We're in very uncharted waters when it comes to American political history, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politbro. Don't forget to like us.